welcome to a special edition of MarathonJourney.com as we sail aboard the Disney Wonder. You know how I told you that I was going to have to take it easy for a little bit? Well, I wasn't kidding. There's no taking it any easier than this. We're out on a short little cruise for my daughter's birthday. We're taking a trip down to Mexico and around Southern California. We'll be back shortly. But this is how we started our running week this week. Doesn't get any better than this. No, it's not a 15-day Panama Canal cruise, but it's nice to get away almost totally and be immersed in not only Disney, but being immersed in absolute and total luxury. And then you end up having to come back to reality. Well, one of the things we're going to do, since we're back here in the real world, is we're going to test the vivoFit against the vivoActive against the benchmark Garmin 620 and see how the vivoActive does. Well, that was much more painful than usual, especially after you've been on a cruise to come back to reality and have to go run. But a lot of it may have to do with the fact that you are guaranteed to gain at least a pound a day or every day you are on a Disney cruise, and we were on 4 days. I don't think I gained 4, though. According to the scale this morning, I gained 6. So lugging around that extra weight did not help. About a mile and a half, my legs were feeling dead. At 2 miles, my calves were cramped up like somebody had vice grips on the back of both of them. Going out close to mile 3, my left foot went completely and absolutely numb, like I had my legs crossed for an hour and a half or so. And so it just kept getting progressively worse until we got out to almost mile 4, and suddenly what usually takes a couple of miles to shake out, usually no more than 3, took just a little bit longer today. And so by mile 4 on the way back, I was feeling better. By mile 5, I was feeling pretty good, and except the fact that the clouds burnt off, and once they burnt off, it started getting very warm. And so the last hill that we have to run up, we had to take a little bit of an extended walk break because my heart rate was up to 167, and with the sun beating down directly, it took a little bit more to recover. But other than that, I was feeling so much better. I could conceivably think about going off and running another 5 miles right now. Today we put in 8.02 miles, and we had both the vivoFit and the Garmin 620 going on, along with the vivoActive. So all 3 of those were part of it. What is still a little disappointing is the vivoFit. The vivoFit showed that we went about 8.45 miles. So it's turning out to be a little more difficult to dial in all the corrections to make proper running guesses. Remember, it is only a pedometer. It just counts your steps, and by the frequency of the steps and by how heavy they are, it tries to decide whether you're running or walking. And there are 2 different metrics, one for running and one for walking, and so it takes those metrics and calculates the steps to come up with a distance. So you see, it's, unless you're running on a track or you're running exactly the same route every time, sometimes your stride does change a little bit, and that's what it uses to calculate your overall distance. So it's there, but it's not a good thing to use as far as using for running. As far as the vivoActive goes, it is exactly the opposite. Turned on the GPS on this. According to Garmin, this gets 10 hours with the GPS, Bluetooth, everything turned on and running, which is a pretty miraculous time. If that's true, the next thing I'm going to tell you is going to be pretty exciting. The Garmin 620 which is the gold standard for GPS devices, registered 8.02 miles, and the vivoActive 8.02 miles, exactly the same. Now there were a few times when the vivoActive was about 1/100th of a mile ahead of the 620, and I thought, oh, this is gonna be problematic, because if we're starting to gain 100th here and 100th there, it's gonna start going wacky. But it came right back into line, and when we hit that stop button at the finish, pace exactly the same, distance exactly the same. So there's a possibility for those of you who would like to have kind of an all-around device on your wrist to use as a watch and a smart watch, and also have something that you can use that connects to your heart rate monitor, so you have heart rate information and a great GPS, so it looks so far. vivoActive might be the ticket. Now what it doesn't do well, it does not count steps well. It is way too sensitive. If you are doing things like washing a window, or even driving down a road that has bumps in it, every bump that you hit in your car activates a step on my step counter on the vivoActive, and it does not do that on the vivoFit. The vivoFit has been very accurate as far as counting actual steps that you go, and not having accidental things happen that trip that step counter. So as far as the pedometer goes, the vivoFit is a better pedometer to count your steps. The vivoActive so far is far too sensitive. Now whether they're going to change that in some firmware updates, that's a possibility, because the vivoFit, when it first came out, was a little bit too sensitive, and now it's pretty darn good. So far, as far as GPS goes, absolutely right on. And if the battery happens to hold up long enough, as they say it is, this might actually be a watch that you could use for excuse me, a GPS device for a marathon. We'll see how that all goes. Got a little bit more testing to do, and a lot more features, so we'll let you know how the vivoActive ends up panning out. But so far, kind of a nice little addition to the Garmin line. But we never would have been able to test it if we hadn't done what you need to do, and that's open up that door, put one foot in front of the other, because if you do that, I'll be seeing you out here on the